This is Tom with Thomas Andrews Small Business Advisors in one of our geographic service areas, Kansas City. This week we joined, I believe, 3 or 4 additional business organizations. That would be chambers of commerce, Main Street organizations, or economic development agencies. And oftentimes small businesses ask, what's a great way to network and get to know, especially if you're doing, business with other businesses. A great way to do that is to join your local chamber of commerce, whichever one is nearest to you, or if you have a regional one, that's fine. That can expand your boundaries a little bit. And oftentimes those entrepreneurs will say, why? What is a chamber of commerce? Well, basically it's an organization that pulls together as many of your local businesses as possible to really get on the same team. Now, there are different kinds of chambers. There are some that just do events, golf tournaments and networking events and things like that. There are others that have legislative priorities every year that take whatever your group, whatever that chamber believes are the most important legislative issues for that given year. They will take those issues to either the local city council and say, we need to address these things. We'll take them to the state legislature or even further up if necessary. But chambers of commerce are a great way for you to get involved and to get in front of a lot of local business owners, especially if you're a B2B business. Now, there are some tricks and some keys, and the main key is to get involved. That is, go to the lunch events, go to the networking events, go to the after hours events. And it sounds very time consuming, but oftentimes I will find myself talking to not necessarily a group of people at those networking events, although you absolutely can, but I tend to get kind of pinned down speaking to 1 or 2 or 3 people. And those conversations really allow to share the entire Thomas Andrews story, rather than just, the snippets that we can put on the website or on social media or whatnot, because those things really have to be brief to keep people's attention. But when you're having a conversation with somebody, you can unpeel those layers of the onion and truly explain what your company does and who you are and what your values are and maybe how you can help whoever it is that you're talking to. Other organizations would be Main Street organizations, especially if you happen to have a business on a traditional Main Street or a town square, if you will. Those entities really thrive by doing similar to what chambers of commerce do, but they're solely focused on developing and improving that core area wherever that Main Street may be. So those are great organizations to get involved with. Another one, if you happen to be, say, a contractor or an architect or an engineer or things along those lines, great organizations for you to contemplate joining would be economic development organizations. And those are different most of the time from Main Street organizations and chambers of commerce because they solely focus on business retention, that is keeping the existing businesses in that area happy and growing and in place. But they also really focus on business attraction, that is finding the next business to come join that community or come join that district or area. So your economic development professional in your region or area or town or wherever you may be, they're going to know what's coming up and what opportunities, especially if you are in that AEC, architect, engineer, contractor business. Those are great organizations for you to be a part of. And oftentimes folks say, well, do I really get a return on my investment? Well, you get a return on your investment if you invest beyond the investment and invest your time beyond that investment. That is, show up to the events, let yourself be known. And here's a secret, and I've seen this as somebody who's worked in local government, somebody who's worked in chambers of commerce, someone who's operated economic development organizations and assisted Main Street organizations, is if you just show up and you routinely show up, you are perceived as an expert in whatever it is that you do. People gain trust, even though, this doesn't necessarily even have to make sense, but you gain people's trust. Your business gains people's trust and the trust of others outside of your organization simply by showing up and being seen on a frequent basis. So anyway, I hope this helps, but check out those organizations within your community, your Chamber of Commerce, your Economic Development Organization, or your Main Street organization, if that applies to you. They're highly beneficial if you work it, if you invest the time to be known, if you invest the time to be recognized by that group and the people within that group. It's a great way to network, especially if you're doing business-to-business operations. Anyway, I'm Tom. Check us out on our website, www.thomas-andrew.org. We would love to be on your team.